Well, a landmark judgment indeed from the Supreme Court that has upheld the status of the 2019 actions that removed the special status of J&K. Now, the judgment came from a bench of 5 judges headed by the Chief Justice of India. Here are 5 key takeaways. Number 1, Supreme Court has upheld that abrogation of Article 370 as constitutionally valid. The 2019 exercise has been given a thumbs up. The Supreme Court held that President has the authority to act unilaterally to repeal Article 370. The Supreme Court also rejected the contention of the petitioners that President was bound to seek the concurrence of the J&K Assembly. Number 2, the Supreme Court has held unequivocally that after signing of the instrument of accession, J&K does not retain any element of sovereignty. The Supreme Court held that Article 370 was a feature of asymmetric federalism and that it should not be confused with sovereignty. Number 3, the Supreme Court also upheld the centre's stance that Article 370 was a temporary provision. The petitioners had argued that after the Constituent Assembly of J&K ceased to exist, Article 370 had become permanent. However, the Supreme Court has held that Article 370 was transitory in nature, only to allow the Constituent Assembly to ratify the state constitution. Number 4, the Supreme Court has held that Constitution of India is applicable to the whole of J&K. With this declaration, the Supreme Court has also held that Constitution of the J&K is now inoperative and redundant. And finally, number 5, on the question of breaking up of the state into union territories of J&K and Ladakh, the Supreme Court has said that it will not enter that debate. The Supreme Court instead has chosen to hold the centre to its assurance that statehood shall be restored. The Supreme Court has, however, upheld the decision of carving out Ladakh from J&K and finally directed for the elections to be held to the J&K Assembly by no later than September 30th, 2024. Now, the Prime Minister tweeted to welcome the Supreme Court verdict. The Prime Minister called the judgment a beacon of hope and a promise of a brighter future. Meanwhile, even before the judgment was pronounced, Kapil Sibal had tweeted that some battles are fought to be lost. With this, the Supreme Court has drawn curtains on a highly volatile issue consigning Article 370 to the history books.